Okay, don't have a gavel, but hang with this thing. So, welcome to the July 10th meeting of the Civil Service Merit Board. Call the roll. Jane Roberts.
Present.
And Stephanie Taylor.
Present.
And I'm Bill Lyons, I'm present, and Mark and Scott are not here today, but we do have a quorum. So the first item is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting that was held on Wednesday, May 8th. A motion to approve that.
Motion.
Second. Motion and second. Discussion. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Okay, we're at the report stage. So reports involving litigation, Mr. Winchester.
None to report, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Mr. Shields.
Likewise, nothing this month. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And we now turn for the staff.
Sure, I'll make this quick and painless. We have started supervisory testing. We do annual testing for supervisory ranks in police and fire. We are in the midst of doing that for sergeant and lieutenant for the police department. Those postings go through mid-July, and so we're anticipating testing to probably be in August. And we are also getting close to finalizing that contract to update those oral boards that we're trying to do this year to get new oral boards to be in place for the foreseeable future. I think we're very close to having all of those contract documents in, so hopefully we'll be able to begin that process pretty soon. I did attach, I'm not going to go through them in detail unless someone has a question or wants additional information, but under tab 3, at our last meeting, I had mentioned that we had provided our performance measures that we do annually to finance for the budget document, and also data that was follow-up data to last year's budget hearing to council, and both of those are in there for you guys under tab 3. If you have any questions, I know you probably haven't had a chance to look at it really yet.
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Just some questions. Thank you for providing this. It does kind of give us all broader scope too with the functions. And I know in the past too, you've done more itemized the CSM costs and everything within that. I did just kind of have a question, I think, with the Civil Service Department for the budget proposal that went through. So I guess this pertains more to what we're doing just with the search committee. And again, I want to get all of this right. We want to have everything accounted for and duties and scope within that. So I did just have a little more questions. Start just in the first paragraph with the civil service budget for legal services. So I know there's the outside counsel that we have for the board, and then also any kind of hearing court officers. Is there a way that you can break that down over the last, say, 3 years or so, just for us to review?
I can.
Okay.
And there have been significant changes to it,
Okay.
especially in professional services. And I kind of did that with finance. We had a meeting. They started something new this year that they have not done previously, where they sat down with each department to just kind of go through some of those things before your budget hearing. So I think that was super helpful for the folks in finance, because they didn't really necessarily understand some of those items or how they worked. And I can break that down for you guys as well, because it was helpful for them, because I won't be here to go through that with them next year, and likewise with the board. So understanding how those items are driven, some are a little unpredictable, some are more predictable, and the professional services item is kind of in flux with recent changes that we've made. So that should, I'm going to say within about a year, we should see a reduction in that one that should be ongoing.
Okay.
So I will reduce all of that to writing for you guys, so that you have that.
That'd be great.
You're welcome.
So that was, I think, the main thing that I was kind of just looking through here. It's a lot of good information. So I'm sure our selection committee might have more questions for you, but just for now, that's all I have. So thank you.
Make me a note.
Sure.
For the rest of the report, the only other thing I was going to mention is that right now we do have 1 active step 3 grievance, we have 2 active disciplinary appeals, and right now we actually have 1 appeal in Chancery Court. Just keeping you guys updated on that activity. And that's it for the staff report.
Thank you very much. And we now have the HR report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be painless, but it'll be a little bit longer for mine, so I just wanted to share a couple things with you all. And I'm going to introduce a couple staff that we have in here in a few seconds. The first thing on our report was about Title VI. I wanted to let you all know that as part of what the responsibilities for HR do in Title VI, we have selected departmental coordinators. Each department selected their departmental coordinators, and we will send out a meeting request for September. And then there's also the Internal Equity Committee. This is something that was done in the past and it's being resurrected, is what I say. And so we're going to begin recruitment for the Internal Equity Committee in August. We will meet with them as well as in October. I believe that will get there, but we're inviting everyone who wants to participate in this Internal Equity Committee to look at what's happening within the city, also working with Tiffany Davidson as the co-chair for this. So we will be bringing in an external person to come in. We've looked at a couple consultants to come in and to look at diversity perspectives, DEIB perspectives as well. One of the things that we've also done in terms of Title VI and Title VII is that we have purchased 26 licenses, I believe it's 26 licenses for DBEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging training for any employees. We've had a couple concerns that have come up, and so we purchased that, and that will be available to any director who needs to have that for their staff. So it has been a request from one of our departments as well. We are also, part of what we did and reported to City Council with Title VI reporting. When we did the report, one of the things that we talked about was increasing our activities and the things that we're doing. So we're planning a meeting with our agencies. There are 6 total agencies in addition to the City of Knoxville. So I am excited to share some of those things that are coming on there as well. From a Title VII perspective, I'm getting ready to participate in a federal investigation training. So I'll let you know a little bit of updates with that. Additionally, the performance evaluations. I did get this and I still struggle a little bit, but when we look at performance evaluations, it goes a year back and then we look forward, but then we look back. I can't quite figure it all out in the process of that, but we're going to work towards having something a little bit more actual in time. But this year we've included COK values. This is the first time. The mayor, when she came into office, worked to put together her mission, vision, and value statement. That's been 4 years ago now. And so we have now included in the performance evaluations for July 1 through June 30th of next year, the integrity, stewardship, service, respect, collaboration, and learning and improvement in DEI. So this is the first time that all employees in the city of Knoxville will be measured and will have this as part of their performance evaluation. Very excited about what this is bringing in, something that's brand new with this. Also for FLSA, you all, I know that Jane is completely aware of all of this, but on July 1, the federal government implemented new rules for FLSA standards. Our staff, this has not been done since civil service had to do it a few years ago, and our staff is now actually involved in this process. Each of our HR generalists are working and reviewing all of the job descriptions, looking at each of the thresholds and each of the exemptions and going back through all of this again, because in January the standards will change again. So this is a process that's going to take time, and we're looking at this, but all of our generalists are working with each of their departments on doing this. So it's not a one-person thing. Each of our generalists are involved in that process, and I'm excited about that. For our employees, all employees received a salary notification that went out, I guess, a week or so ago somewhere, but was effective July 1. We are dealing with all of the performance changes. You know, by charter, we general government employees get a 2.5%. Law enforcement, fire and police they get a minimum of 4.2. But this year, there were some increases with the PO ranks, the POs through PO4s. And so all of that has caused a lot of discussion that's coming out. This year, we're also looking at performance and salary adjustments and benchmarking, and the fire department will be included in that discussion as well. Supervisory training, we had the largest turnout of our supervisory training June, I'm not sure the date, mid-June, largest turnout. We actually had 63 participants from 21 different departments, the largest it's ever been. Great turnout. The impact of this was dealing with generational differences, huge discussion. Our next one is going to be on September 26th, and it's going to have DISC assessments for all of our supervisors. So excited about that. But last but not least, I wanted to tell you real quickly about some staffing updates. As you think about this HR department has been around for 3.5 years. Huge turnover, huge changes. It takes a minute to bring a department where it needs to go. You can't do it overnight, and we've had to find what we need to find to get there. We got it right. I'm so excited. It has taken a little bit of a time. As you look at things, there's been reports, turnover. We've had high turnover, but it takes a minute to find what we have. I'm so happy to announce that we've got Linda Pardue. I heard Ms. Johnson say, Pardue. We brought Linda Pardue back into our forefront. So we're so excited to have her here as well as an HR specialist. She's come back and she's excited to be in the fold with HR in the process. We just promoted an HR generalist senior. When I think about Mary Margaret and bringing her in, she is one of the top tier, and I always love bragging on her, and she gets tired of it, but she's the best of the best, and UT said it. I can say it, and I can acknowledge that she's the best of the best. She's been doing so many things with UT and bringing us up to the forefront, working with one of the most acclaimed people in the industry, Dr.
Mackie.
Thank you, I couldn't say it, Dr. Mackie. She's doing a lot of work, and she can't take her, but she's being her protege, and so it's really, we've got a jewel there when we look at this. We also have an HR student with us as well for our intern, Will Grubbs, and we have raise your hand, Will. We're so excited he's here. And then we also we've had, since last year with the internship program, we were able to get an HR student to be our intern. She stayed with us the entire year. Edith Kiprano, I'm close, Kiprano. And she stayed with us a year, and she's staying with us another year to end her graduation. So we are really so excited what's going on here. We are also bringing on a deputy director next month. I'm excited, don't know how all of those things done, but we are in it, and I'm so excited. So I know it's long, but I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to hear about the excitement.
Yes.
Okay. We don't have any unfinished business of which I'm aware. New business, we've got a request by Chief Noel to exempt from Civil Service 1 temporary part-time position administration specialist until July 10th, 2025. And we had an attachment of the exemption form. We have a motion on item 5.
Motion.
Motion to exempt. Second. Do we need any discussion, or do we need to hear anything? I thought it's pretty straightforward. Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, item 5 passes. Item 6, we're going to have to, we have an additional file that I'm going to ask you to approve. So I'm going to call on our executive secretary to explain what we need to do to make sure we're doing this right.
Give you a little bit of brief information, if Mike needs to follow up on anything regarding the rules, and then we also have Tom Clavo, the Director of Engineering, if you need to hear from him as well. This is a unique situation that honestly, we've used this rule before, but never in this circumstance. So basically, we have an employee who needs additional time to meet a requirement of the probationary period. And so in trying to come up with the best solution for the department and for the employee, I think that the best solution was to allow her a reduction in classification to give her additional time to meet those requirements. That is something that has to come before this board because she has never previously been certified in that job class. Part of that requirement is certification in writing from the director that she meets those requirements for that job that she is being reduced to, and I have that. I received that yesterday, so that's where Bill needs you guys to approve me distributing this to you after the agenda deadline, so. I've got it?
We passed the agenda deadline, so I'm asking for a vote for permission to share this information with us that will help us decide item 6.
Motion.
Motion? Second. Okay. Got a motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So you can let us have the file.
That should be part of your record for this next part.
So this looks, it's purely a time factor. I don't see any, does anybody see any downside to doing this? Seemed to be a good problem solving mechanism, so.
There has to be a certification from the director whose department she will be working for that she's qualified to be,
Right.
you might say reduced in her classification too. She's qualified to do that. It's an old nepotism and old rule about someone dropping down and not being qualified to do the job that she's going to. This cures that.
Okay. Well, then I think we're in a position to vote on item 6 of this, since we have this to clarify the situation. Do we have a motion on item 6?
Motion. Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of item 6 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, so item 6 is passed. And that gets us to item 7, which is the update from Jane about the selection committee. So
All right.
can't wait to hear about this.
Sure. Well, I don't know how excited you can get just yet, but we've let everybody try to get their summer break time in, right? You know, so it's been kind of nice. I am excited to be working with David Brace and his staff to help us put this meeting together and everything. So we have our government employee rep, fire, and police will be meeting later this month to get everything really kicked off.
Okay.
So I should for August, I'm assuming we will have a meeting, probably have a better outline detail of what steps that we taken to that point. So we are getting back from vacation and getting settled
Get
into
rolling,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal. Exciting process.
Yeah,
Do you have any more questions?
okay, let me know.
All right, well, I believe that takes us to any other business. Is there any other business today? Let's entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.